Hi, in this video, I will teach you how to use the comm utility available on Linux and also a wide variety of Unix and Unix-like environments. And this tool is quite useful and not very popularly known by many people, but I will tell you what this tool does with some demonstrations. The primary use case for this comm utility is to compare two files. So if at all I have these two files which are sorted, there are two sorted text files to be more specific, and you want to find out what lines are there in the first file that is not there in the second file, or what lines are found in the second file that's not found in the first one. And you want to find out what are the common lines between these two files. For these three use cases, using comm is quite beneficial. So I will just show you how to use this tool with some basic examples of two files, two simple text files I have with me. So there are two files I've created here. One of them is a file called users_a.txt. The list of users. By the way, I'm using bat instead of cat. So cat is alias to bat on my Linux system. So in your machine, cat might look a little different. Yeah. So the file contents are shown here right away, right? You can see there's a line, each line shows up individual usernames in here. But I also have another file which I'm going to unzoom my tmux session here to show you another file, which is users b.txt. So as you can notice here that this line seems to be commonly found in both of these files, whereas in users a.txt, there is no line that shows Alice Brooks, which you can find in users b.txt. However, in users a.txt, you'll find a line that shows Ben Foster, but you don't have that in users b.txt. But users b has Bob Fisher, which is not found in users a. Chris Evans is commonly found. So you can see some common lines and some lines which are differing in these two files. So what we're going to do is we want to find out how to find out the differences and also the common entries between these two files using the comm utility now. So it's pretty straightforward. The basic use case for comm is just run the command comm users_a.txt and users_b.txt, and you get the output that looks like this. Basically, there are three columns, and these three columns are separated by tab stops. Because the lines are a little longer, so you see it looks a little overlapping. So the first column here is representative of entries found in the first file, not found in the second file. The second column shows up all entries found in the second file that is not found in the first file. And the third column represents all entries which are commonly found in both of these files. So technically, there are three columns. If you find this not very intuitive to read, you can also change the output delimiter. So one of the things that is supported on Linux environments, if you're using the GNU Core Utils package, the comm utility from GNU Core Utils allows you to use this long option called output hyphen delimiter equals, instead of the default as tab, you can use any other character. I'm going to use a comma, which is very commonly used for representing comma separated values, CSV format. So when I do this, you get the output in this particular format. As you can see, the two double commas here indicates not found in the first, not the first column, not the second column, but the third column. The third column is representative of commonly found lines. And when you see a comma Alice Brooks in here, this is indicative of an entry found in the second file, not found in the first one. Ben Foster alone shows up entries found in the first one, not found in the second, right? It just shows up this way. This is not truly CSV format, because ideally you should see a Ben Foster comma, comma, or you should see a comma Alice Brooks comma. You don't see that, but that's how it is, right? Anyways, so, but however, the major use case for comm is to weed out the differences separately. For example, what if I want to find out all entries found in the first file, not found in the second file? Only that one. Well, the command switch for this might look a little counterintuitive. Just watch me do this, then I'll explain it. So if you want to find out all entries found only in the first file, but not found in the second second file and the common entries, then you can use -2 3 like this. Now you might wonder, why did I put that 2 3 here? Okay. First, let me explain about this number switches. Suppose when I use comm with no switches here, this is the output format, right? Now, suppose when I use comm -1, the -1 actually indicates don't show me entries belonging to the first file alone. That means don't show the first column, right? The first column is supposed to contain this Ben Foster, David Lewis, and Sarah Jones. You won't see that particular column. So you'll see second and third column now. You can see, you only see that Alice Brooks, you see Adam Clark, which is common to both for both files. Alice Brooks, which is found in the second file. Bob Fisher found in second file. All these entries are common to both the files. What is found in second file and common. That is, then there are three columns. You don't want to print the first column, but you want to print the second and third column. You say -1. The switch here indicates which column that you don't want to get printed, right? Suppose when you use comm -2, right? -2. Well, it shows the first column and the third column, not the second column. So it shows all the entries found in the first file, not in the second one. The second file's entries alone, they're not shown. Then the common entries are shown. I can use comm -3 to show only the differences of first file and second file, but not the common entries. The third column is not printed. So you can exactly select which column you don't want to get printed by using the minus number here. You can use a combination. For example, when I use, let's say, 1 and 3. When I use 1 and 3, it means don't show column 1 and column 3. What are we left with? We are left with column number 2, which is indicative of only lines found in the second file. That is usernames found in the second file, as usersb.txt. That alone will be printed. That's what this is, right? So you're trying to say, don't show me the first column, don't show me the third column, show me only the second column. I can also try the other way. We can actually use 2, 3 here, which means don't show the second and third column, only show the first column. So the final outcome of this is when you use comm -13, that's 1, 3, first file and second file, it shows only entries of the second file. What lines are found only in the second file, not found in the first file. However, if at all in use comm -23, users a.txt and users b.txt, it shows up all entries that is found only in the first file, not in the second file. And the 3 is to indicate don't show me all the common entries. This is what it is, right? So you can use this combination, but maybe I want to show only the common entries. So how do you print only the common entries? Well, you can say don't show me the first column and second column, only show me the third column, which represents only the common entries now. That's what you get. So just to confirm, we just do a cat users a.txt and I'll unzoom this, okay? And I'll say, yeah, I can see that. I use cat users a.txt and here users b.txt. The common entries are Adam Clark and what else? Okay, yeah, Chris Evans and Emma Scott. And you'll also see Jack Miller, Lamb Carter, and Sarah Jones is not found in both of them. Tom White, right? So you see those entries. Now to verify that, you can use comm minus, you're supposed to say 1, 2. Don't show me the first column, don't show me the second column, show me the common elements. 1 indicates don't show left file, that's first file. 2 indicates don't show the contents of second file. 3 indicates don't show the common elements of both the files, right? So that's what this is, these combinations. Don't show the first and second, but show the common elements. That's what this indicates. And type users a.txt and users b.txt. This is what you get, right? You get only the common names between these two files. But however, let me just again cat users a.txt so you can see both of them. And if I type maybe comm -13, when I use -13, users a.txt and users b.txt, as you can notice here, it shows up entries which are only found in the second file, that's users b.txt, not found in users a.txt, and the common entries, of course. So as you can see here, you can see entries like Alice Brooks, Bob Fisher, and Mark Taylor being shown, which is there in users b.txt, not found in users a.txt, right? So this is how you get a picture. To summarize, if at all I want you to apply set difference kind of operation, I want to find out what entries are found in the first file, not found in the second file, just use comm minus, you want to see what is in the first file, not in the second file, right? You say minus 123, right? And then users a.txt, users b.txt. If at all you want to see entries in the second file not found in the first file, you'd use comm minus 13 users a.txt, users b.txt. You want to see only the common entries between both of these files. What entries are commonly found in both of these files? You could use comm 12 minus 12, that is users a.txt and users b.txt. These are the most common switches that you use with the comm utility. Now, I showed you with files, but I'm going to show you some more practical use case. Right now, I have connected from my MacBook to a Raspberry Pi board, which is a Raspberry Pi 5, which I have alongside with me. I also have another Raspberry Pi 4, which is also powered on. And this is representative of the host name, Deimos. I name all my machines based on heavenly bodies, let's say. And let me bring up another terminal. Bring up the unzoom, the other terminal. I also have another machine which I named as Hydra. So if I just type Hydra here, I have a small shortcut which will SSH to that machine. I could have simply did SH Chandra at Hydra. That's a short alias for that, right? It's connected to this particular machine called Hydra. So you can see that it shows up Linux Hydra and so and so. I don't see the prompt here. Something is wrong. Okay, let me just find out. Okay, something's wrong with that machine, I guess. Okay, let me do one thing. Okay, it's accessible. Oh yeah, I think some issue with the bash shell there. Okay, never mind. All right. So we can just see I've connected to Hydra here, which is another machine. Now both of them are running a Raspberry Pi OS. Okay, so I've run Raspberry Pi, installed Raspberry Pi OS on this particular Raspberry Pi board, and I've also installed Raspberry Pi OS and the other board. Both of them are based on Debian, as you know. And if you're using a Debian or Ubuntu based Linuxes, the package manager that you normally use is dpkg or apt, right? Use that tool. If you want to see what all packages are available on my machine, which is Demos, for example, I could use dpkg minus L here to list all the packages. I just want to know the package name. So what I'll do is when I run dpkg minus L, it gives you a list of packages. By the way, if you're using Red Hat Linux, you can use rpm minus ql. If you're using Arch Linux, you can use pacman minus capital QL, right? So different Linuxes have different packaging tools, and you can find out what packages you're using on those Linuxes by running the appropriate package management related tools. Now, what I really want to do is I want to find out what packages are installed on this particular machine, which is not installed in the other machine, right? So here, the way I can do that is there are a lot of clutter that's actually being printed when I run dpkg minus L. I don't know if there's a way to only print the package names using dpkg. If you know it, please type it on comments. I am not a full-time Debian user. Okay, so these days. So anyways, so I'll use dpkg minus L, but I'll write my own filters. When you say dpkg minus L, all the installed packages show up with starting with capital double I over here. Let me just filter out lines based on that. So this is very script friendly. The output is script friendly. I can use pipe awk, show me all lines that start with II, and then print. I want to print $1, $2, $2, I guess. Second column. You could also use combination of grep and cut and ACD and all those tools, but awk is convenient for this use case. Yeah, I get only the package names. So I want to know what packages are available on my other machine. For that, I just have to run the same command via SSH. So the way I do that, I can use SSH. I've configured key-based authentication, so I don't need to type in the passwords. That's very convenient if you're having a localized network with all these machines there, right? You don't have to keep typing passwords all the time. There's a way to do that. Maybe I'll cover that in another video, or maybe you already know it. sh-keygen and so on. I'll talk about that maybe in another video. All right, so when I say sh and when I say Chandra at Hydra, this is the name I've given to the other Raspberry Pi board. I put double hyphen here and run this command. It shows all the packages installed on the other Raspberry Pi board. I want to find out the commonalities and differences between them. For example, I want to know what packages are installed on the current system, which is not there, not installed at the other board, right? From demos to Hydra. So if I want to do that, I can actually use comm. Here's a trick. These are all the bash or bone shell, actually bash based shortcuts. You can use this process substitution. So rather than putting a file name as an argument to the command for comm, you can say the output of a command can be substituted in place by using this less than parenthesis. And I can run this command dpkg minus l pipe. You might also need to sort it. One of the biggest problem with comm is that the files that you're trying to compare, they must be lexicographically sorted. That is sorted in the alphabetical order. If you don't sort the files, if you try to compare unsorted data, you might get a warning message and the output might not be what you wanted, right? Make sure that you sort the files. So I'll do dpkg minus l pipe sort. No, I'll do one thing. I'll first filter it out, then sort it. I use awk, and as you can see, show me all lines that start with I print $2, and the output of it, I want to sort it. This is substitution for one command, right? And I'm going to use process substitution for the second file by using less than in parenthesis. Again, this time I'll say SSH. I can just type Chandra at Hydra and put a double hyphen to make sure that everything after that is basically the command line. Should be treated as a command line. You want to execute that as a command on the remote machine by SSH. For that, I can run dpkg minus l. Okay, I think my face might actually obstruct this. So I'm just going to put this little up over here, hopefully. Yeah. dpkg minus l, pipe, awk, same thing, same command, right? I can just use, start with small double I and print $2 and pipe sort. I guess that's it. So let's find out. Yeah, but when you run this now, it shows all three things, right? It shows us three columns, basically what package is installed in the first Linux system, not installed in the second one, what package installed in the second Linux system, not installed in the first one, and what are the common packages. But of course, you can always go to the beginning, okay, and use minus 23, for example. This will only list all packages installed on Demos, that is the current Linux box I've switched to, in comparison to Hydra, the other machine. And yeah, there's so many packages installed in the current Linux, not found in the other one. If at all I want to do the opposite, where I can use minus 13, shows up all the packages installed in the second machine, not installed in the first one. So this is a useful feature. So you can use it in wide varieties of ways. You can compare two logs to any kind of two textual data. Though you can compare two files, you can apply this using process substitution to compare the output of two commands, right? As long as the outputs are sorted, right? So this is how you can use comm in wide varieties of ways. By the way, make sure that the comm, when you want to compare two files using comm or the output of any two commands, make sure that the outputs are lexicographically sorted, and it works well when you do that. You can also achieve this kind of an effect with diff command and also with some switches, but comm is convenient for comparing two files, right? To know more about comm, you can use man comm as usual. Look up the man page and you can see it compares two sorted files line by line, compared to sorted files, file 1 and file 2. It shows you suppress column 1, suppress column 2, suppress column 3, the three switches and combinations that I showed you. You can also check whether the input is correctly sorted. That's another check it does. If you don't want to do that check, you can actually use no check order. If you know the output is sorted, you can avoid this output delimiter, and you can also put a total summary, output summary, and so on. So all these are the different switches that comm command support. So for you to look up. And yeah, I hope you found this video useful. If you do like this video, do share and like and subscribe to watch more videos like this, which I post every now and then. And yeah, I recommend you people to try out the exercise what I showed you with this command, right? This is for Debian systems that run on Debian and Ubuntu. You can use dpkg. Try and do it with Arch Linux or Red Hat based distributions if you have one, and type in comments what command did you use, right? Let me know that. Thank you very much. Meet you in the next one. If you're interested in my detailed training videos in course format, do visit my profile on udemy.com. The link to the same is in this video description. If you live in India or willing to pay by Indian rupees for my paid training courses, you also have the option to enroll on /prog.com. The link to the same is also in this video description.